welcome today. And today's episode will be trying to dwell on the divine mind. How can we become in tune with the divine mind? And when you're talking about the mind, we must understand that we're dealing with hermetic principles or hermetics, seeking for the panacea is the occult property of light, trying to understand the anatomy of a human in an occult way. Since we understand that we descend from the mind, and when we descend from the mind, we walk from the path of the ring to come in the ether. Ether is one of the elements that is in the creation from the planetic solid. We have the dodecahedral, that the 12 sides where we talk about the space, the Akasha record. But when we talk about the divine mind, you must understand that this have to do with the alchemistry, and we talk about the chemistry of a man, the molecules that they interfere, or the molecules that they come with the panacea or the life form of a human anatomy to the structure as we are the demigod. This all about this on the divine mind and the hermetic principles. When we descend to the mind, we talk about the mind of a matter. But what's the separation between the mind and the matter? Because the mind, how it have been known in the demiurge world or from the lower self, as we try to transcend and explore the higher dimension of the mind. What is it that is really going on? That's why we emphasize on the man to dwell on the hermetic cells and open up all the cells. So we understand that when we come to the demiurge, or when we come to the descendant of a human, we are guided by the 12 chakra at last that can transcend us to the spiritual realm, and we can start exploring the other chakras beyond that mindfulness, where the space, the ether, it's two different things. But when we talk about the space and the ether, there's a level of ether where the record of the intelligent mind is coming to give a dwelling of a man form. But in the spiritual sense, when you start to exploring and getting in divine mind to seek the spirituality, what is it that we have to understand? The spiritual principles that govern the mind, the pineal gland, the light, the aura, the form, that where is it coming from? From all the teaching, the secret teaching of all ages, you can check mainly Peel all talking about the pineal gland, that the pineal gland is not as essential as people out there know it, as they're talking about the gland itself, but the consciousness or the light, it's within that pineal gland. When you start to become in divine tune with the spiritual realm and explore the dimension we talk about, the dimension is it's when we're going beyond the ether and entering the zone of a space. That's where we can start to be dwelling on the zodiac sign of a man. We at the zodiac sign, the demiurge, the physical form that is trying to give the purpose, and the purpose how it have to get from it. It's when it's in line with the center or the rings of a man, when they come to give the certain exploration of the ascension. When you ascend from the lower self, from the root, from the animal spirit going to the spiritual world, What is it that we must understand? As you know about the physics, the ancient, they always know that when you talk about the light, it's just one of the wave on the electro spectrum, the electromagnetic spectrum, the L, Elohim. We talk about the gods, the demiurge of the world that is coming. We know that we are guided by the Christ within, the consciousness, the conscious Christ, the Christ consciousness. When you try to live, or when we give the molecules, when we try to unleash the alchemy, the molecules, the components, the compounds of it, when it's giving the higher life of the ascension, what are we trying to do is we living from the symbol. The man is a symbol. You know, the pentagram now, the pentagon now, the man is just a symbol, one of many occult symbol if we're dwelling on this mystery teaching. So for men to understand the structure or the anatomy of the body, so that they can start living and not existing on this is the holy temple, this is the holy land, this is the body. That's where all the enlightenment, the Buddhas, they live from this structure, trying to transcend and find the spiritual path. But all is governed by the lobes, the right and the left hemisphere of the brain. When you start merging them together and trying to seek the path, the dwelling in the merging, in the oneness, in the union, when the brain, the creativity and the intelligence is trying to merge, the mind, how it's really going to function from this experience. When you're exploring the molecules that they claim it's secret, but how this molecule is secreted, it's need techniques for the body to be unweighted. From the root is the lower, that is the root, it connects with the nature, with the Mother Earth. The particles, as we know that we descended in this world as a and people are living on matter more than the mind. But you should understand that the mind, just check the hermetic principles, then you're gonna see like the spirituality is governed by the astrology, or the world within, the whole existence within. Then the world without that is just the manifestation of the light that is been given information that we're gonna be living governed by those principles of the information that it's without. But when we're living from within, we influence the matter outside, because everything is just the manifestation of a within. Within is where the source of all intelligence lies, the manifestation of the world. If you understand the concept of a central nervous system, how the impulse are coming on the brain and interpret the light that we perceive. We're perceiving all the world around us in our mind. All it's just the physical manifestation. Within the physical manifestation, that's why the most of the function of the brain is just 25% of the brain, because we're living from the memory, from the matter. But when you start to tune in the divine mind, and we govern by the conscious flow, all it needs you a class as a beginning techniques. Meditate on opening up these rings. There are a spin, there's an electron spin that is gonna transit us from the lower dimension to the higher dimension. Pauli exclusion knows from the chemistry, from the physics classes, they know that all these, the mind, all these, the matter, it influences everything that is happening. But if you wanna influence the matter, you should understand that you should go and be guided by the components of the mind. Find the peace of the mind first. Then you're gonna be able to meditate and dwell and enter zodiac knowledge and understand the knowledge that is governing the physical realm. We are living guided by the world as we know it. There's a spiritual, and there's a spirituality on it, which is the path when you start journeying on it. But how can you find yourself? You can find yourself when you transcend the matter, when you start awakening the demiurge of a man so that they can influence the life. Everything is just happening as the physical manifestation. The physical manifestation, but we are locked too much in the desire. These are the property of the world without the occult pseudo science of a property that is of the light. We're living on the photonics, the world, the information that it's been put out so that we identify more with the body and we are stuck on the matrix world. The matrix is influenced by lots of and the properties of light that are being given on our solar system to give certain information. some sages they talk about the moon, how the moon it's one of these light property that is, and the Satan how this they put the information to be radiated towards our ether. And the ether is where all the record is being given to radiate, and then we're gonna be trying to, because we know it's just DNA. It have a strands, and on the DNA there's a code. The code that are linking those codes. We're gonna be taking that information in our DNA. That's why they say if they wanna manipulate the people's perception, the people's life, they're gonna insert them with certain information that they're gonna start believing that this is how the world is. It's easy, and it's all there's a codes everywhere. They're using information, the television, they're using information, the sound, because all these are the codes that we're gonna decode, and they're gonna be in tune with the divine atom of a man. A man is guided by the matter, and instead isn't governed by the mind. The matter that it's been given for the people to believe is the perception that is reality, is the light that we are given certain information to live on. But you can live and start to adapt and evolve this information by. That's why you need to cleanse your space. Your space it have an aura. There's an energy. There's a light that your body is start to radiate around your space. That's why you can have an input of the mind is gonna be incapable of in charge. That's why you're gonna start putting the information that you want to put. That's why they say is overacting the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is the lower level of this aura. You give information that you wanna manipulate. You start thinking from the mind, giving information to the matter, because that's where the demiurge world on the lower level of the physical manifestation on earth. It's been influenced by the subconscious mind. So you give information that you want is to guide your life. So when you give this information that you want to guide your life, but you need to cleanse the aura so that you can have a shaft, a protection shaft that is gonna be able to block away the information that is being emitted over your the demiurge or the physical manifest. This is what the aura it helps to do. The aura is gonna be blocking the light, this information that is put on all around us. You are a light. That's why this they keep talking about the light. The light, that's where you create the life. This what spirituality says is the all this teaching they always talk about we are light. This light, how can you make you radiate, you open up the cells, the ring of your centers to align to protect you around your body. That's what meditation is all about. It's trying to for us to have our own space to create our own aura around. People that meditate, they will tell you when most of them, they tend to become introverted and the surroundings change. Everything just change because you're changing the light around you. You're changing the space. The space when you change, you influence it by starting to create the life that you want all around you. This is what the mythic or the mind. You're becoming in tune with the divine mind by creating the life that you want. But this information, for you to override it, you need certain information that you're gonna be able to program in your aura. When you program this information, you're influencing because the ether is it's on the parallel realm with the lower level of an occult man symbol. So when you start to the connection of an ether and the connection of an aura, they're more in parallel. So you start influencing each other's light, the information that is getting and the information that is coming out. So the information that is on the akasha, it's on the ether, is the information that you're gonna be starting to absorb. It's not gonna be guided by your being, by the light within. That's why they say you have to be journeying in Christ consciousness. The life is all around us. The life is all in us. We just have to be awakening to the truth. We just have to understand the lower level, the matter, atom, the particles, because it's all about influencing the molecules. That's why they talk about the alchemist. The alchemist, they're trying to find the punisher, the life that it's gonna cure all disease, the life that it's forever lasting. You never die because you just awaken. You awaken to the dimension, to the higher life space, that no life, no death to you. You just life. You just be. You influence everything. But let's not be stuck on the lower level of what we have been programmed to believe is the truth. Cleanse your aura. You won't be able to find yourself surrounded by the energy vampire that is going to be seeking or absorbing all your energy to feed certain information. That's why you're going to feel drained. When you meditate this, you'll become skeptical about many stuff, especially when you're walking in this spiritual path. The life, it's each and every effect that is happening on your symbol of the body. You're going to start feeling the structure because it's just the geometric complex of it. The more information is going to be put, the structure there is going to be complex, it's going to be overwritten, it's going to descend from the dodecahedral or the ether space, and it's going to start degrading on the lower level. So have a beautiful day, have a lovely life.